Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 uh, uh, Monday Night Football postgame show. Well, the New York Giants had the ball late in the game with a chance to rally for an improbable win. That's when Tommy DeVito delivered again, delivered through a 32-yard pass uh, Wandale Wandale Robinson to set up Randy Bullock's 37-yard field goal as time expired, and the Giants beat the Green Bay Packers 24 to 22 Monday night uh, to hand the Packers their first December loss since Matt LaFleur took over as coach in 2019. The 25-year-old DeVito added another moment to his unlikely rookie season as an undrafted free agent, making his fourth straight start because of injuries to Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. The New Jersey native directed New York to its third consecutive win. The Giants now 5-8 on the season, went 57 yards in 8 plays after Jordan Love threw a 6-yard touchdown pass to Malik Heath with a minute 33 to play. Green Bay then tried a 2-point conversion, but Jaden Reed was stopped by linebacker Bobby uh, Oriki. The go-ahead TD was set up by a Saquon Barkley fumble. DeVito rushed for 71 yards and threw an 8-yard TD pass to Isaiah uh, Hodgins while leading 4 scoring drives, 2 of them capped by Barkley runs of 5 and 1 yards. The Giants' defense forced 3 turnovers. It was DeVito's fourth quarter comeback. I know it's probably not easy for him, being that he is from around here. Giants coach Brian DeBall said, "I know how that goes. So there's a lot on your plate, uh, and you've got to keep the main thing, which is football." Uh, he had 4 games. I am proud of him. He's put a lot of work in since he got here. Um, Reed scored on a 16-yard run, and Anders Carlson kicked field goals of 36, 32, and 48 yards for the Packers, who fall to 6-7, who had won 3 in a row. Green Bay dropped to 16-1 in December under LaFleur. It's definitely disappointing, said Love, who finished 25 of 39 for 218 yards. Just look at what we got in front of us, but we have to take it 1 week at a time. We have plenty of opportunities to win that game. We didn't execute good enough. It's disappointing for sure. The Packers had uh, a 10-7 lead at halftime on Carlson's 36-yarder with 13 seconds left. The drive was kept alive by a 27-yard pass interference by Cordell Flott. The Giants went in front on Barkley's 1-yard TD early in the third quarter after New York recovered uh, uh, a Keyshawn Nixon fumble on a punt return. DeVito had a 26-yard run before Barkley scored. After Carlton responded with a 32-yard field goal, DeVito capped a 75-yard drive with a pass to Hodgins for a 21-13 lead. Robinson also caught a flea flicker on the drive. Green Bay and New York scored touchdowns on consecutive series early in the game. Wide receiver Reed scored on a 16-yard sweep late in the first quarter. It came 1 play after Love hit running back A.J. Dillon on a 35-yard pass play. Barkley's 5-yard scoring run came 1 play after the running back took a direct snap and handed off to Robinson for a 32-yard run. And now for and the Packers, Reed was being evaluated for a concussion. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks had an ankle injury, and had no injuries announced. So up next for the Packers, they return home to Lambeau Field to host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday, and uh, to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday, as I said, and the Giants are at New Orleans to take on the Saints at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But this was one of those games where Green Bay had a chance and could not get over the hurdle to get the win. So I got to give the game balls to the Giants. Tommy DeVito, 17 of 21 carries and attempts, 158 yards, one TD, one interception. Saquon Barkley, uh, uh, 20 attempts, 86 yards, two touchdowns, and I think it's Wandale Robinson, uh, six receptions, 79 yards. And boy, this was one of those games where just Green Bay could not, but the Giants get over the hurdle to get the win. But the Giants, they really got a win that they wanted to have and I think needed. So they go to 5-8, and Green Bay falls to 6-7. There was another Monday night game, the other Monday night game. In the final seconds, actually, let me get into this here. Well, Will Levis knew he couldn't get too caught up in his mistake. The Tennessee Titans rookie made a bad pitch to running back Derrick Henry on the fourth quarter against the Miami Dolphins, resulting in a fumble that eventually allowed Miami to take a 14-point lead. But Levis put the play behind him and directed two touchdown passes in the final 4.5 minutes, and Tennessee rallied to stun Miami by one with a 28 to 27 victory on Monday night, knocking the Dolphins out of the top spot in the AFC. And the Dolphins, well, I think, will want to win their 4 remaining games to really get that spot back, but we'll see. That was a nightmare, Levis said of the turnover. No one wanted to look at me. No one wanted to talk to me. I didn't want to talk to anybody after that, but I just wanted to move on, be ready to attack the next 2-minute drive that I knew we'd be able to get. The Titans, who are now 5-8, held Tua Tagovailoa and Miami's explosive offense in check for most of the game, but still fell behind by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter thanks to critical mistakes that gave short fields to the Dolphins, who are 9-4. Raheem Mostert ran for TDs of 3 yards and 5 yards to put Miami ahead 27-13. Levis, a second-round draft pick, making his 6th career start, led a 9-play, 75-yard drive that took a minute 54, capping it with a 3-yard touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins and a 2-point conversion throw to Nick Westbrook. Ikine. The Titans got a stop, and Levis hit Hopkins for 28 yards. She goes him Okamwo, excuse me, for 16 yards. To get into scoring position, Derrick Henry scored on a 3-yard rush, and the extra point gave the Titans a 1-point lead. Levis ripped off his helmet and screamed for joy and embraced Coach Mike Vrabel on the sideline. The Dolphins took over with no timeouts left, and they got the ball on their own 45, but Harold Landry III sacked Tagovailoa to put the game away. Miami lost at home for the first time this season, and it's a 3-game winning streak was snapped. Baltimore now has a 1-game lead for the best record in the conference. It was the first win by a team down 14 with under 3 minutes left since 2016. Everybody thought this was going to be another Miami Broncos 70-point put on us, said Titans linebacker Arden Key, but we don't care about the outside noise. Miami played much the game without star receiver Tyreek Hill, who sat out the second quarter and a majority of the third after injuring his ankle in the first quarter. He returned and caught passes for 23 and 25 yards to set up Jason Sanders' 31-yard field goal that tied it at 13 at the beginning of the fourth. Hill, who leads the NFL in receiving yards, was in and out of the game from there and finished with 61 yards. Tagovailoa was 23 of 33 for 240 yards and had his streak of 21 consecutive games with a touchdown pass snapped. And Levis went 23 of 38 with a touchdown pass and interception. Hopkins had 7 catches for 124 yards, and Henry ran for 2 scores. And a grinded out game took a wild turn in the fourth quarter, beginning with Tennessee's Eric Burrow tried to field a bouncing punt with the game tied at 13, all with 6:16 remaining. The ball carmoned off his hands, and Elijah Campbell recovered from the Dolphins at the 7. Mostert punched it in and then scored again after the Titans fumbled on their next possession on a botched pitch by Levis to Henry. Mostert leads the NFL with touchdowns rushing. Henry, who finished with 13 yards, moved to 15th in NFL history in rushing yards when he scored his 87th career rushing TD in the first quarter that tied the game at 7 going into the half. Miami's top-ranked offense, was held scoreless in the first half against a Titans defense that has given up the fewest red zone touchdowns in the NFL. The Dolphins were 2 of 5 in the red zone and lost a fumble, and the Titans 2 on a bad quarterback center exchange on their first possession. I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are going to be. It's going to be tough to go to sleep tonight, including myself. Miami coach Mike McDaniel said, "That's not something you can do and expect to win football games. It's a hard lesson, but no lead is safe. I think that's one of the tougher parts about it." Miami went ahead 7-0 when defensive tackle Zach Seiler intercepted Levis at the 5 and took it to the end zone. The Dolphins had a pick six in 3 straight games for the first time in franchise history. Tagovailoa faced more pressure than usual, with the Dolphins missing 3 starters on their offensive line. Left tackle Teron Armstead, who has a knee and ankle injury, and right guard Rob Hunt, who has a hamstring injury, did not play, and center Connor Williams injured his knee in the first quarter. Sanders converted on a 20-yard field goal that tied the score at 10-all in the third quarter, and he also had a 44-yard field goal blocked by Danico Autry. Now, the Titans did have some injuries. Titans defensive lineman Kyle Pecco injured his calf in the third quarter and did not return. Quarterback Sean Murphy bunting left briefly with a knee injury early in the fourth. And for the Dolphins, Williams did not return after he hurt his knee. Cornerback Xavier Howard briefly left the game after he collided with teammate Brendan Jones. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle left briefly after he took a hard hit on Miami's first drive. Safety Deshaun Elliott left with a rib injury to be evaluated for a concussion, and he did not return. Well, up next for the Titans, they host the Houston Texans at home this Sunday. And the Dolphins host the New York Jets at Hard Rock Stadium at their home. So we will see. This was one of those games where Miami had a chance and we're not able to get the win. So I've got to give the game boss to the Titans, Will Levis. 23 of 38 carries attempts, 327 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Derrick Henry, uh, 17 attempts, 34 yards, two touchdowns. And I think it was DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, seven receptions, 124 yards, one touchdown. So this was one of those games where the road team got the win, and Miami had their three-game win streak snapped. Their home game win streak snapped. Well, we get into Week 15, kicking off for Week 15, Thursday Night Football. The LA Chargers will be in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And with it nearing the end of the season, we're going to be having some NFL games on Saturday. So we'll have some Saturday podcasts for you. I'll have them. Uh, so, uh, uh, and and for that, and for those three games on Saturday the 16th, December 16th, Minnesota is in Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Pittsburgh is in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the Colts. The Denver Broncos are at Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Lions. And then the rest of the games on Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons are in Carolina to take on the Panthers. Chicago is in Cleveland. The Browns host the Bears on Sunday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in Green Bay, legendary Lambeau Field, to take on the Green Bay Packers. The New York Jets are in Miami to take on the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. The Giants are in Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Texans are in Tennessee to take on the Titans, who host the Texans this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. The Chiefs are in Foxborough to take on the Patriots, who've been struggling, and they're going to be out to win that game. And I think they will get it on the road. The 49ers, these are the late games I'm talking about. The 49ers are in Arizona, and Phoenix, Arizona, at State Farm Stadium to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The Washington Commanders are in at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, to take on the Rams, the LA Rams. The Dallas Cowboys, are in Buffalo at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo to take on the Bills. And Sunday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens are in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium to take on the Jaguars. And Monday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles are at Lumen Field in Seattle to take on the Seahawks. And they're going to be out to win that one after losing to Dallas big time last week. So we shall see. We got a great week of football for Week 15. And once again, and my brother-in-law and I were tied. We took a bloodbath this week. We were 6-9. Not a good week on the picks. We both took Green Bay and lost. Both took Miami and lost. Giants win 24-22 over the Packers, and the Tennessee Titans win by 1, 28-27 over the Miami Dolphins. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football postgame show. I'll be back with the Thursday Night Football pregame show once the game between and once the game with the pregame show before the game starts between the Chargers and Raiders, and I'll be back. Then I'll have the postgame show once the game between the Chargers and Raiders concludes. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.